Time now to bring Kumar Sangakkara into the show. Kumar, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Great to have you back on the show here on NDTV. First up, India, of course, according to most experts, go in as the favourites against Bangladesh. But that 4-0 head-to-head record that they have in T20 internationals versus Bangladesh really doesn't mean much in this match, does it? They'll be equally under pressure because it is a crucial game for them as well.
Yes, I think it's going to be another really interesting game. It's set up really well. India really needs to beat Bangladesh and then Australia to ensure that they go on through to the semi-finals, especially because of the net run rate they do have. The Bangladesh side, you know, they probably think that they've underperformed a bit. Their batting has not been at its best, especially the start, like you mentioned. But at the same time, their fast bowlers and spinners, especially with the loss of their two frontliners, haven't been as effective, except for maybe Shakib al-Hasan and at times Alamin Hussain. Having said that, I still think that India is a much higher quality side in any kind of situation. I mean, the batting lineup they have, yes, Shikhar and Rohit have not fired, but that's also a warning sign to sides because batsmen of their quality will fire sooner than later. And this is the ideal time for them to step up and take that heavy burden off Virat Kohli's shoulders. They also have the experience in the middle order with MS and of course Yuvraj Singh waiting there. So there's a lot on offer when it comes to India. Their bowling is a lot more settled. They know what they're about, and in big tournaments they know how to play under pressure. But Bangladesh can cause upsets, and India will be looking at them quite warily, knowing that in the past, in big games, they've threatened India. I remember in the 2007 World Cup, Bangladesh pulled off a magnificent win to knock India out of the tournament. So it's going to be an important game for both sides. But when you analyze everything that India has been about over the last 2 to 3 years in the shorter version of the game, even though they've had a tough tournament, I think India's going to walk away with a win.
Right, that's really going to be music to the ears of most Indian cricket fans, Kumar. Now, one thing that we've seen happen quite a bit in this edition of the World T20 is how different surfaces at the same venue have played very differently in different matches. We saw that happen at the Eden Gardens. Now, keeping that in mind, how big an advantage do you think Bangladesh will have, considering the fact that they've already played on the Bengaluru pitch against Australia?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a huge advantage. I mean, India knows India. Team India knows Indian conditions and pitches like the back of their hand. The Bengaluru wicket is great. And why is it great for India? Because it even sides up in the manner that it plays. It's a great wicket for batting. It doesn't take too much turn. It's got good pace and bounce, and that's going to help batsmen that India have in their lineup. Bangladesh, for them to really threaten India, they need a pitch that either does something a bit unexpected or they need to click really, really well on the day. Most sides playing at Bengaluru will chase, and probably India will do the same when they turn up if they win the toss. And once that happens, I think India will try and dominate from start to finish, try and tie down Bangladesh to a total under 170, or even if they're batting, anything over 160 would really put pressure on the Bangladeshi Tigers.
Right.
But having said that, the question of surfaces in the tournament is an interesting one because usually in ICC tournaments you have an independent curator who comes in, oversees the preparation of wickets and tries to make them as uniform as possible. Of course, different venues will throw up different pitches, but some of the extremes that you saw, the Nagpur pitch, then the pitch in Kolkata, India versus Pakistan, you know, it kind of raises a few questions that needs to be answered because in a tournament like this, you really don't want the pitch to favor one side too much over the other. Absolutely. Of course, it may favor the subcontinental sides because that is where they play, but at the same time you need good cricket and pitches that even out the strengths of sides so that the better side, of course, on that day who performs in a cohesive way and is up to the mark on that day in all areas of performance walks away with a win.
Right, Kumar, you've of course said that India are a much more superior side than Bangladesh going into this particular contest. So I'll throw a googly at you now. What India really need to do, of course, in this match is not just win the game, but also win it comprehensively so as to boost their overall net run rate. After the way Bangladesh pushed the Australians in their last match, do you see India pulling off a comprehensive win?
Well, I think if India had been in the chasing position that Australia were, with the start that Australia got, India would have probably walked away with it in a much more easier manner than the Aussies did. The Aussies haven't played the best cricket. They've scratched around. They lost a game to New Zealand, which they probably should have won. And they haven't looked that dominant side that they usually are in big tournaments. Of course, the run rate and the fact that India needs to boost it puts different kinds of pressures. Will that mean that they will definitely want to chase, no matter what surface the Bengaluru stadium throws at them? Are they going to go too hard? Will that make them make too many mistakes? It's a wonderful thing when this run rate equation comes into play. I remember once when we were playing India in Hobart in Australia, to stay alive in the tournament, they had to chase 350 or close to 350 in about 30, before 40 overs, and I think India managed to do it with the big Kohli 100 in about 34, 35 overs. So it can work both ways. Either it can push a side to perform a lot better than they ever could, or it could put so much pressure on them that they go for too much too soon and end up crumbling. But I think India has the experience in big match cricket. They have the quality in their side. So I think winning and winning well will be on their minds, but I think they will actually try and do that in a very professional manner.
Right. My final question, as far as this discussion was concerned, Kumar was going to ask you about your prediction for this match, but I don't think I need to do that anymore, because I guess you are picking India as the winners against Bangladesh. Is that right? Very quickly, India as the winners?
Yes, I am picking India as the winner. I've watched them play. I know India's under pressure, and this particular Indian side under pressure reacts quite a bit differently to maybe previous sides. These guys will step up and play their hardest, most ruthless cricket. But having said that, I have been wrong before, and all I'm waiting for is a great match where both sides play their best cricket, and whoever plays well on the day walks away. But advantage, definitely, without a doubt, is with India.
Well, that's what 1.2 billion cricket fans here in India, Kumar, are also saying. We want to see a good match, but hey, at the end of the day, we want India as the winner.